And hello, welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I'm Amanda, and I'm thrilled to be here with you this week. If it is your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. What we do here is EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping. We just jump right into the technique. I don't go into an explanation of how it works or what the different techniques are. I'll answer a question or two. We'll touch on some basics if we need to. But we have a channel completely dedicated to videos on explaining all of the in-depth functionality, all of the clinical studies behind it, the history behind it, all of that. What we do here live is show you how it works in real time. It is a technique that is wonderful for releasing overwhelm and trauma that you're experiencing in your life. It can be something big. It can be something that's just small but persistent. It is meant to be a safe place for you to feel supported and to feel empowered as you're on your journey to healing. If you're not sure what EFT is or you feel insecure about your ability to do it, don't worry. You can follow along with me and you'll have it down by the end of this session. If you would like to actively participate in it, the way that you can do that is in our chat. You can put in there just whatever is in your way. It could be something that you're reaching for that you just can't seem to get, or something that you don't really actually believe that you'll be able to get. It could be something that you have that you don't want, that you wish you could get rid of it finally. Everything's valid. Anything that just feels triggering to you. It could be a pet peeve that you're having. Just mention it in the chat and I will incorporate it into the hour as best I can. And if we tap on something that isn't an issue that you're currently experiencing, don't worry. I have ways to show you how you can still utilize that time to be specific to you and feel good for you at the end of the tapping session. Given all of that, what I'll do is say hi first to everybody in the chat, and then we take just a minute to ground, and then we go right into it. So if you feel comfortable putting in the chat what you would like to tap on, feel free to do that at any time throughout this hour that we have together. If you feel a little too vulnerable to put it out there in front of everyone, don't worry, you can always email me. Now, I won't see it right now. I need about 24 hours notice. But the email's at the top of the chat. It's amanda@eftuniverse.com. If you send me an email about what it is that you'd like to tap on, I can mention it to everyone at the beginning of the tap, and I will keep you anonymous so that you still have that instruction, maybe insights on new ways to tap on it without the vulnerability of sharing it with a whole entire world. So, all righty, let me say hi. Hi, Richard. Hi, Violet. Oh, hi, beautiful Violet. Hi, Anya. Fear of not doing practice session. Oh, okay. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up, Violet. Yes. I do have one question to clarify. Is it fear that it's not going to go perfect, or are you having fears pop up because it did not go perfect? Are you anticipating it, or has it already happened and didn't go as you had hoped? Because that'll be important for what aspect I take it at the beginning for tapping on it. And I don't have any emails to share this week. All of the emails that I received were just one-on-one communication, so I don't have any taps to invite the whole group in on. So it is open call for you for this session. But let's go ahead and take a moment and get grounded. And again, you can put anything in the chat at any point. The way I choose to get grounded is really soft and gentle, but might be a little weird if you haven't done it before. I'm going to mention different body parts to focus on, like your earlobes. And it's not necessary for you to like look at them or feel for them to see where they are. It's more a gentle way of drawing your awareness that, you might be focused out in multiple areas. You might be having multiple emotions about things that are on your mind. And I'm giving you something current to think about and focus on to bring your attention back to this present moment in a way that can feel good. So just so you're aware, that's the intention behind it. So go ahead and wiggle your body if you feel the need to as you're sitting or standing or kneeling or laying or whatever position that you're in. Let's go ahead and take a breath here. Just whatever feels good to you, as deep as feels good. And as you breathe out, really let your body just relax. We're not worried about perfect posture right now. We want to send a signal to the body of, so whatever that looks like for you, give your body permission to assume that position for now. And as we're relaxing, let's think about where in space our eyelashes are. I think we've done eyelashes before. Where are your eyelashes? Your top eyelashes, your lower eyelashes. Where are those right now? From the very inner corner of your eyes, all the way across your eyelids, out to the outermost corner. Feel where your eyelashes are right now. And remember to breathe. And now let's focus on where our shoulder blades are. So that bone at the back of your shoulder blades. Where are those right now? Your right shoulder blade and your left shoulder blade. Where are those right now? And breathe. And how about our ribs? Our ribs go, we typically think about the front of our bodies when we think about our ribs, but they actually wrap around the sides of our body and even around to the back. So feel where in your body right now are all of those ribs. The very top rib that's just under your collarbones, all the way down your sternum, down along the sides of your body, wrapping up around behind your back. And remember to breathe. And now, where are your wrists? Where is your right wrist? Where is your left wrist? Where are your wrists right now? And how are they feeling? Do they feel tight? Do they feel relaxed? Are they warm? Are they cold? Do they have not much of any sensation or feeling at all? How are your wrists? And what about your hips? Where are your hips right now? Where in space is your left hip? And where in space is your right hip? And how about the backs of your knees? Where are the backs of your knees right now? And are they open or are they closed? Are your legs straight or are they bent? The back of your knees were emanating light. How much of that light would be visible? Would it be shining through some material? What direction would that light be pointing? Where are the backs of your knees? And how about the bottoms of your feet? That whole area of the bottom of your foot, like a footprint, from the base of your heel to the tips of your toes. Where are the bottoms of your feet right now? And let's take a breath here. Okay, now go ahead and rearrange your body to where you're in a better posture to support your spine and all of your different joints for the next hour. I'm going to go ahead and set an intention for our time together, and you can join me in that if you would like. It is my intention that as we are together for this time of reaching through our community and looking for support and finding support that even though we're all over the world and we're having different experiences and different awarenesses of who each other are and what we have on our plates, that the intention of being together right now has value, and it has real energy behind it. And it matters that you're here, and it matters that you're contributing, whether you feel strong right now or something else. That it's important that you're here, and that as we tap, you feel that, and you feel heard, and you feel seen, and you feel supported. And by the end of this time together, you feel better. Yeah, let's take one more breath. Okay, and I see some more comments came in, so I'm going to double check over here. Hi, Laura. Love to tap on procrastination. Okay. Okay, thank you for the specifics, Violet. I didn't get specific enough. I feel went well. Did 4 sessions so far. Okay, so it's more of a an inner reflection than any kind of feedback that you're getting. It sounds like. Hi, Dr. Scott. Hope all had good BF/holidays. Thank you for that. I did. I had a great time with my family and friends. Hi, Lauren. Maintaining composure and boundaries, especially during the intense holiday season, while caregiving for a terminally ill husband for the last decade. Okay, I hear you. That's um let's see. I do have a question, Lauren. If you feel comfortable answering, giving me just specifics, you don't have to. We can absolutely tap on this either way. But the composure and boundaries, um, is is it you're not being recognized for what's already on your plate, specifically having to do with caring for your husband? Other people are wanting your time, you to take responsibilities, despite what's already on your plate. What type of boundaries um, are being tested, and what is being put on you that is testing your ability to maintain your composure? What's overwhelming you, essentially, so that I can help you with that. Um, could not get one practice client to give me a sud during 2 different sessions. Okay, all right. I feel for you on that. When it's something. Okay. Now I'm getting into like my mentor brain with that, where I want to offer suggestions, but I'll hold on that. Thank you for giving specifics. Hi, Paula. Hi, Bonnie. Always feel so welcome with your session. Oh, thank you, Anya. I'm so glad that you're here. I love that you're here. Yay, Paula Asa from Munich. Feedback has been great, much more of an internal issue. Okay. All right. Awesome. So going back up to the top, because I want to be all inclusive. Um, okay. So we've got self judgment for just difficult progress and outcomes that were different than the expectation, and composure and boundaries. Okay. Not feeling recognized and fighting alone. Mm, okay. Thank you for that. Venetia, I'm not quite sure how to say your name, but thank you for your suggestion. And if you don't mind phonetically telling me how to say your name, I very much have an interest in knowing how to say it correctly. I can come up with some really um, creative ways to say some things. So I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. All right, let's go ahead and start with um, my expectations, like my self expectations, because I appreciate what Violet has offered. And I just want to relay what she's shared with us, which is she's in a state of learning, and in a state of learning that involves other people in real life situations. And the feedback that she's getting for her efforts in that is really, really positive and supportive. But she herself feels like it didn't quite get to where she wanted it to be. So she's got concerns about that now, and putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, whether we feel like it's warranted or not, generally isn't super helpful. So I'm wanting to offer a different way of approaching the same thing, so it doesn't feel like a dismissal, but instead of being a pressure, it feels like support. So if you're not in the same type situation, then a way that you could apply this could be any area where you're looking to self improve, whether it's you're looking for self love, self forgiveness, if you've got a fitness goal or an education goal, maybe you've got a goal that you're looking for. In your profession, you want to move forward in your work environment, um, any place, even if it's like, I just wish I wasn't such a messy person, and I wish I was better at housework, but you feel really judgy and pressury on yourself about that. That is a perfect thing to use as well. So, whatever pops into your mind with that, that's going to be applicable for this. I'm going to use the language self expectations, my own self expectations, which is redundant, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And you can replace that phrase with whatever fits best for you. If you can be more specific, please do be more specific. Okay. I'll go ahead and start tapping on the hand. And if I don't move through the points and you want to move more through the points than I am, please feel free to give yourself permission to do so. You do not have to follow along with me, with where I'm tapping and with the wording. If you already have an idea of what fits better for you, please feel free to use that. Okay. As I consider my self expectations, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider my self expectations, I'm realizing there's not complete acceptance here. Even though right now I am finding reasons to not accept myself, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though right now my self expectations feel contradictory to saying I completely accept myself, I'm open to finding a way that it can feel true and feel good. My expectations, the expectations I hold for myself, my goals, my successes, my failures, my line of pass or fail, my expectations, my my internal values, my own viewpoint of my worth. Even though I'm just now starting to be curious about what all of this means for me, I choose to hold space right now to deeply and completely accept myself and find my way there. I wonder, as I consider my own value system for my own expectations, is there a learning curve? Or is it I'm failing until I pass? Even if up to this very moment, what I've been choosing for myself is I'm failing until I pass. I deeply and completely accept myself. And I give myself permission to consider other options. But I wonder, why would I be choosing to see myself as failing until I pass? That doesn't sound like a happy place. It doesn't sound like necessarily a very fair place. It doesn't sound very supportive for learning or growing. So I wonder, why is it a space that I would choose for myself? Maybe at some other point in my life, it's what I was taught. Maybe at some other point in my life, that's what I felt was most true. Maybe at some other point in my life, it's what felt safe to believe and trust. Because maybe learning hasn't been a safe environment. Maybe I've had really negative experiences. Or maybe it's the only place I've had really positive experiences and my whole identity is wrapped up in it. And if I'm not the best, then who am I? Whatever my reasons are for choosing this outcome, I offer myself compassion and understanding for choosing it. I've done the best I could. And it's worked. It's worked okay for me. Maybe it's even worked really well for me up until now. But I wonder, is it possible that there could be a nicer way? And maybe it's okay for, even if it's not a better way, that a nicer way is considered a better way. No, no, I can't be nice to myself. I can't be nice to myself while I'm learning. I can't be nice to myself while I'm growing. I can't be nice to myself while I'm experiencing. I can be nice to myself when I'm perfect. And I can be nice to myself when I'm really good at things. I can't be nice to myself any other time. Hmm. Even if part of me feels something kind of like that or exactly like that, I deeply and completely accept myself. And it's okay that at some point in my life, I got caught up in that. But it's also okay for me to shift that. I don't think I need that anymore. I don't need this space of intense pass fail. I think I'm ready to learn in the supportive environment in my own head and in my own heart, in my own emotions. But what does that even mean? And what does that look like? How am I supportive in a learning environment that's different than what I know? Well, let's think about it. maybe, maybe what it could be is I take into account everything, including everything that I've done right, even if I'm not fully satisfied. And I allow myself to feel good, even if that last thing that didn't quite go as planned is irritating or disappointing or concerning. Maybe I can stop and go, but what else? But what else? Did the person have any progress? Did I have any progress? Did other things go right? Um, what have I been told that right now I'm dismissing? And it's okay for me to allow it to have value. Maybe I can learn and have value. Maybe I can not have the outcome I want and have value. Maybe I can be at a beginning point and have value. Maybe I can be really bad at something. I mean, just terrible at it. Just really, oh, super novice, but still have value. Maybe, just maybe, my value can hold strong. And maybe my learning experiences aren't tied to it. Maybe I have more value because I'm learning. Maybe I'm gaining value because I'm trying. What if, no matter the outcome, all of it meant value? All of it meant positive. Even if I really bomb something, even if I get embarrassed, or I feel nervous, or I feel disappointed, it's okay for me to have these emotions. It's okay if I'm competitive with myself and I want to be the best and I want to do the best I can. Those aren't negative things to have, but maybe they don't need to be tied to my belief in myself as a person or my belief in my ability overall. Maybe that doesn't have to be on the chopping block every single time. So I wonder, as I self analyze and self reflect, can I give myself permission to succeed as I try, to be worthy because of my try, to have value because I care? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Whether or not right now I'm able to get as big of a yes as I want, I hold space for it. I hold space to feel it. I hold space to believe in it. I hold space to learn how to be there. Because if I learned once upon a time that my value isn't there until I completely win, and that's not really logical, but I've operated that way for a long time, then isn't it possible? Shouldn't it be absolutely possible for me to now learn different, for me to accept and receive and hear what I'm being offered by other people and from myself about how I'm doing. And I give myself permission to release this failing until I'm passing mindset. It's just too heavy. It's too much and it's not helpful. And I don't need it anymore. It's just not a way I need to operate. And instead, I give myself permission to treat myself like I would treat someone else that I'm encouraging, who I believe in, who I'm excited for to see what all they let themselves become. I choose to be that person for me. But what does that look like? What do I start doing? Well, maybe I start cheering for myself. Even if it feels silly, even if I feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable. It feels new. It feels different. It feels a little bit weird. I give myself permission for any emotion as I get used to this adjustment. And I allow myself to see all of my progress and to acknowledge all of my value as I lean into the new spaces that I'm creating. My self-acknowledgement, my self-support. And as I choose to lean into this new system, I deeply and completely accept myself. And take a breath. I hope that feels good. You check back in. Okay, we've got some new. I'm going to read through the new posts and then I'll go back through and remind us of the suggestions we've gotten. Louis was about deep, dark, debilitating depression that keeps me tired but unable to sleep. All over body pain with no desire to do anything and ridiculous brain fog. Oh, not to be a Debbie Downer though. It's okay. That sounds really heavy and really hard. It's okay for that to be expressed. I don't think with how you lay that out, that was not as a Debbie Downer. Okay. It's a lot to go through. And I'm grateful that you spoke up. So thank you, Louie. It's been a while since actually we've tapped on depression. So um definitely we'll address that today. If a tap for this is possible to put into words, I'm not my thoughts, then not every thought is the truth, and to stay open. Yes. Oh, Paula, I love that. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. Um, I will say this just real fast. That was something that was the hardest for me when I was recovering from my complex PTSD was the invasive thoughts that I had. And it just, oh, they were so intrusive. Um, so I feel like I understand what you're saying, and maybe I'm understanding it in a different way than you mean, but and yes, it's possible to tap on, absolutely. Okay, and Lauren, I put pressure on myself, and I have a hard time holding boundaries with our children. I give, and I don't feel like I receive nearly as much. It builds resentment. Okay, and pressure at work as well. Okay, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it. Um, Okay, and Richard, I'm a mentoring for. I still have sessions where I don't do everything just right or get all set scores. I should. Thanks for bringing this up. I appreciate your share, Richard. And I will confess, there are times I get really excited about sessions and I'm like, oh, shoot, I forgot to get your set score. Although I think what Violet's saying, did you mean that the person wouldn't or couldn't figure out how to reach a set score? Not necessarily that you forgot to ask. I forget to ask sometimes. Um, okay, mind blown. Never felt good enough. Okay. Oh, yay, yay. You're so welcome, Violet. Okay. Karen, I'm glad you're here too. Very hard care partnering day, being ill and 78 at the same time. Okay, so a lot of overwhelm. I'm seeing a lot of patterns of maybe different places where it's coming from, but we've got a lot of overwhelm popping up today. And also recovering from complex PTSD. Okay. All right. Um, okay, so she couldn't give us that score. So, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there real fast. Anytime anyone is tapping, so this isn't just pertinent to Violet, when there's a struggle to come up with something, whether it's I don't know where this is coming from, I don't have a memory for it, I don't know how to get the words out to have it make sense to anyone else. There are two things that I will do to get past that as a barrier. One, tapping on it being safe, and two, it not being a barrier. So what that might look like is, and I'll just use the set score as an example. If I'm going, I don't know what number to pick, it's bouncing between like a 2 and a 7, and that doesn't make sense. And so I'm ruminating on it and I'm spending too much time on it. I'll say, well, is it safe for me to think about that right now? Is it safe? And even though logically it's like, it's a number, why is that? So we're not asking the conscious brain, we're asking the subconscious brain, is this safe? And the answer might be, no, it doesn't really, I'm uncomfortable with this. Okay, even though this doesn't feel safe right now, I'm in a safe environment and I don't have to do that. I can do that when it feels better. I can do that when it feels good. And it's same kind of thing. If it's not about safety, then being able to say, even though right now I can't or don't want to come up with a set score, I give myself permission to have complete healing anyway. I give myself permission to let go of everything anyway, even though I can't come up with a memory, even though I don't have the right words right now. I hold space to completely release this. Um, so that it's released as a barrier for both people. Because a set score is a great tool, um, but if it's not able to be reached, then it becomes a barrier, right? So then just removing it as a barrier. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. um, so overwhelm. There's a lot of overwhelm for all of my lovely people today. So let's So, Lauren, thinking about you and Louie, um, yeah. So I'm just going to use the word overwhelm. If you want to replace that with something that's more specific to you and your circumstance, you could say boundaries. You could say depression. You could say my overwhelm when I'm thinking about these boundaries, when I'm thinking about this, event coming up. If it's a specific experience, you can be specific in that way as well. If being specific in any of those ways is hard, think about where you feel it in your body. Because when we're overwhelmed, we know it, right? But how do we know it? Is it because your mind feels like it's spinning? Is it because your chest feels tight or it feels like it's trying to explode out? Um, what does that feel for you? And that's a great way to release it because your subconscious brain knows, like it knows what you're asking it to deal with, and it knows how to get rid of it. You don't have to articulate everything. It's not your job to do that. It's your job to put a target on it, and then your subconscious brain can take care of it. So you don't have to be perfect at it. It just find a way to go this thing, and then your brain goes, got it. Um, okay, so overwhelm. Okay, let's start here. As I gently allow myself to be aware of this overwhelm that I have. I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even if that statement feels really foreign and doesn't make sense to me right now, that's okay. I'm not asking for everything that I'm doing right now to make sense to all parts of me. What I am doing is creating a new offer, creating a different give, creating a different space to exist in. And it's okay if all pieces of this new space don't make sense right now. Even if it doesn't all make sense, I hold space for it to be mine. This overwhelm, I wonder, I don't know that this is something that feels safe to think about or deal with or to try and overcome. Maybe it feels really big. Maybe it feels really daunting. Maybe I just don't feel strong enough. I wonder, is there a way to make this feel easier? If there was a way for this to feel easier, I'm open to it. And I'm open to giving it a try. I wonder, is it possible for me to separate myself from this overwhelm? Not solve it, not make sense of it, just separate myself from it. Whether it's enclosing it inside of me so that it doesn't have all of my space, or removing it from me and putting it in a box, or putting it on a different planet, putting it in a different dimension. Whatever it is that I need to feel like there is some part of me that exists outside of the influence of this overwhelm. I give myself permission to create it. So, whatever you see as this space that you're creating, use all of your sensory organs. So, see it. What does it look like? Are there textures? Are there colors? What does it look like? What would it feel like if you were touching it? Is it a force field? Is it glowing? Um, what are the boundaries of it? Is it more magical? Is it structural? Is it mathematical? How does it make sense? How do you know, yeah, no, this is solid. This is a barrier that's going to hold. And then if it were making a sound, what would it sound like? What sound does this barrier make? Does it have an electronic buzz? If you rapped on it, with your knuckles, would it sound hollow? Would it sound wooden? Would it sound plastic? Would it sound glass? What temperature is it? If you were to taste it, which I know is a weird question, but what would it taste like? What would it feel like on your tongue, in your mouth? What would that be like? If it had a scent, what would it smell like? And there's a reason we're doing this. It makes this barrier more real to your subconscious brain, gives you more empowerment. As I consider all the aspects of this boundary that I allow myself to have, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I give myself this bit of distance, I allow myself to feel the relief of this space. I wonder, what do I do with it? So what? So I have this space. What can it do for me? Huh, I wonder, what can it do for me? Maybe I can cultivate something here that can feel good. Even if it's irrational, even if I have no good reason for what I want to be here to be here. I give myself permission to cultivate whatever I want in this space, whether it's peace, joy, relaxation, energy, strength, bravery, passion, silliness, whatever it is that I want in this moment. I give myself permission to allow that to fill up this space without any boundaries, without any rules or reason. I give it permission to be here just because it's what I want. And it is okay for me to have something that feels good to me. Even if it's not solving a part of my issue, I don't care. I choose it because it feels good. And I allow myself to feel good right now. And I allow this space to continue. And I allow this feel good space to grow. But I wonder, why would I allow it to grow? Maybe because that's what support looks like for me right now. Maybe because I don't have easy answers. Maybe because it is something that I can do. And feeling better is real. And I give myself permission to receive it. And I don't have to explain myself to anyone. I don't have to tell anyone, oh, by the way, I gave myself permission to feel good today. If I want their opinions, I can ask. But I don't have to. This is for me. And maybe it will help lessen my overwhelm. And maybe it won't. But either way, it does feel better. And if I can't completely get rid of my overwhelm, maybe I can support it by giving it a friend to help make it calm down just a little bit. A friend to where it doesn't feel so alone. I might be able to see other solutions by allowing myself this new space. I may not see any other solutions than what I already have. Whether or not I find different solutions, I give myself permission to feel good anyway. I give myself permission to have these spaces where I can lean into peace, where I can lean into joy. And I don't have to deserve it. I don't have to make logical sense of it. Just like I don't make myself prove to myself why I'm walking into a specific room every time. It's okay for me to just walk around. It's okay for me to just sit where I want to sit. Maybe I can give myself that kind of permission with feelings as well. And I could still be affected by things and have feelings with outside influence. But I also choose to allow myself my own influence and my own choice. But isn't that crazy? Isn't doing that just something that doesn't sound very mentally stable? Even if I'm feeling this judgment or something similar to it, I give myself permission anyway. Because you know what? Feeling stressed all the time isn't logical. And being depressed all the time, how is that logical? I don't see how any of these other emotions, valid or not, in my life, persistently, are any more logical than any other one. Emotions flow, and me choosing which one I want to flow is okay. And I don't have to judge that in any other way. I give myself permission to feel good. I give myself permission to feel supported, even if I'm creating the space for it, even if there's no logic to it at all. But in the end, I feel better because it's okay for me to feel better, especially if I'm in a hard spot and I don't have any easy answers. I give myself permission to choose this easy answer. And I give myself permission to build as many barriers and as many boxes or as many planets or universes as I need to feel empowered over what emotion I would like support from. It's okay for me to take a break from heavy things. And it's okay for me to choose something positive. As I explore this new concept of how to see my emotional journey and my relationship with my emotions, I hold space for it to shape into whatever works best for me. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's take a breath. I hope that feels better. So often we gatekeep an outcome because we say it has to go through something first. Um, and it feels irresponsible or illogical to allow ourselves to receive something and then work to support to keep that, because it's just not how most societies that I'm aware of work. But it's okay for our emotional landscape to look different than our financial landscape or our familial landscape. Our emotions are led by our subconscious brain, which is not a logical space. So if you can, give yourself permission to be a little or very not logical, it really can be very helpful. Okay, we have enough time for another quick tap. I'm feeling I wanna end on, like, a positive tap like we do so often when we've got just a little bit of time. I feel like there's still some like, we've kind of unbuttoned emotions, and I wanna give that a nice place to feel. So I'm just trying to figure out how to verbalize that. I'm gonna wrap in the word safe. Let's use that as our standard. So, um, a safe place for my emotions. As I come to the end of this tapping session and I consider all of what this has brought up for me, I allow myself to feel, even if it's messy, even if it's difficult, even if it's a lot, to whatever degree feels good to me. And if it doesn't feel good, I give myself permission to turn it down or to turn it off. It's okay if I'm not ready. And it's okay if I'm ready a little bit, but not 100%. I'm not losing out on an opportunity by not forcing myself to go through something. It's okay for my healing to be gentle. It's okay for my emotional spaces to feel safe and supported. And if what I need is a big, strong, ugly cry, then I allow myself to feel safe in that and to not worry about what it might mean or what I might be slipping into. Sometimes I just need a big cry, and that's okay. I hold that space for myself. And sometimes I've emoted all I can handle, and I just need to turn all that down or turn it off. And that's okay too. It doesn't mean that I'm shutting down or closing out and I won't be able to access it again. It's me and I am me. So it's okay for me to give myself permission to set something down and let it be quiet for a little while. Healing doesn't mean it takes over my whole life. Healing means I'm at a space where I'm willing to support myself. And part of that means I trust what I feel I need right now, whether that's going in deeper or allowing this to be enough for now. I trust that. And I offer myself whatever support I need for that. And I allow myself to focus instead on gratitude. Gratitude for myself that I'm here and I'm willing to be here and I made it. I made it to be here today. And I have found this place to be with other people and in a space that holds these mindsets and creates these safe places and these new thoughts that I get to have. And I'm grateful for giving myself this curiosity and permission to explore and try things out. And it's okay if not everything works for me. That's great knowledge too. I allow myself to feel really good. Even if right now, I also kind of feel like a bit of a mess. It's okay for me to feel like a bit of a mess and really good and really proud and really hopeful. No matter where I am in my journey right now, I allow myself to feel good about the spaces that I have found and to feel safe and trust these new places. This trust, healing, this new space, healing, gentle with myself, healing, hearing myself, healing, trusting myself. My healing. And as I give it a try and see how it goes, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and take a deep breath. I hope that feels good. If you still feel vulnerable or open, more than what feels good to you right now, um, you could, if visualizations help, just imagine like, oh, I've got little doors open, I've got windows open. And you could just close those doors or close the windows. You could keep tapping while you're doing it. You can imagine a swirl of energy around you that's just maybe filling those spaces or closing those spaces. Um, if you want to picture putting armor on so that you feel protected, just allow yourself to be curious. I feel like I need a little bit more support. What is it that would allow me to feel supported? And give yourself a little bit of time for that answer to be received. Feeling a space of vulnerability is actually a positive sign from your brain, and giving it just another moment to come up with a solution of feeling that support is a really great thing to do. So, thank you so much for being here with me this week. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead of you. Please feel free to email me if you have questions, if you have thoughts. Sometimes I'll even take your questions, turn it into a pre recorded video. I post that every Friday morning on our YouTube channel, EFT Universe. I hope to see you next week. It's always Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you can't make it live, I always do post it afterwards, again on the channel. So take care. I'll be thinking about you. I'll be keeping you right here. Mwah. See ya.